This is the KH230 knit along problem solving video. So we have these buttons that we are supposed to put on this sweater. And we need to figure out how to make a buttonhole going upward and make it stable. And we need to figure out how to get all of these buttons in the little bit that we have to work with. So I have 5 buttons for sure are just for this project. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buttons and an extra. So what is the best way? Well, I'm going to put some waste yarn on this machine, and we're going to see if we can't figure out a vertical buttonhole and how many rows we need, how many stitches we need. So let me work on that and we'll come back. All right, so luck has been bestowed upon me. Apparently, if I just put 1 stitch out of work, then this button will go in. So I just need to figure out the math on dividing the entire length of this crop top to accept 5 buttons. So 1 at the top, 1 at the bottom, 3 in the middle. We've got this. The other thing I need to figure out is how to do the width. I think if I add 5 or 6 stitches to the edge, so we're supposed to be at 17 and 17 on the button edge. If I add 6 stitches and I repeat where the buttonhole is, I can fold it over and I can hand stitch it in behind for stability. So let's do a couple more rows of this waste yarn. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to pretend that number 3 is my buttonhole on both sides. Bring this one forward. And now I'm going to knit 10 rows. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So if I make that assumption and I fold it over and then I sew it, then that buttonhole will be on the edge, but it'll be supported, right? So that should be good to go. I would think that doing more than 5 would be good. And I know it's going to be quite a pain in the butt, but I think if I make a purl row, like an entire column of purl going all the way up the piece, that'll give me a good fold over edge that is clean, and I will be able to stitch up the inside. So let's do a little mock-up. Let's do a pretend mock-up and see if we can get this to go. And of course my camera fell. Okay, so we're going to make an assumption. We're going to knit across. So let's assume that we will knit 3 rows before we do our buttonhole. So if our buttonhole is going to be at 3, then we have 3, right? That one comes back out. This one needs to be purled. So we are going to purl 5, going all the way up the piece. And then go 1, 2, and this would be where we have our buttonhole. Okay. Now I want to make sure that I'll be able to see that. I have pretty good faith in myself. Okay, now we're going to knit another 10-ish rows, and then we'll do another buttonhole. Okay, so again at 5 we purl. Three we swap. One, 2, 3 we swap. Bring those forward again. Knit another 10. Not sure what that was. Another 10. 5 we purl. Three we swap. Third one we swap. Knit 3 more. So 1, 2, 3. Purl this one. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to remove these 5 stitches, and we need to move them over. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move my purl stitch onto what would be, let's say, stitch 17. Now I'm going to take some waste yarn. And I'm going to remove these stitches on waste yarn. Whoops. one stays out. I'm going to latch two of these off so I don't lose them. Just going to pull that up. All right. So now I'm grabbing purl bump from that first one. So I have 3 stitches on what would be stitch 17. This is now the neckline. These 5 stitches are now hanging onto what would be our neckline. I'm just going to fast forward my pattern. Okay, so this would be the 73rd row of our pattern. Now we are doing the neckline. We are going to knit across. Give me 1 second here. Okay, so row 73, we have switched it all over. We would knit across for row 74. So we're on the right hand side. Going again. Oh no. So we would be So it would want us to take the stitches that we just put on there, and now it wants us to put them into hold. All right. I would, because that's already 2. This is 3's locked it in. So yeah, we got this. So if we do it this way, and then this will be part of the finish for the what's that term? For the collar. So these 5 stitches we would gate peg off, actually. So I'm going to put these back on. And we'll gate peg these off. So I think that I should add to the piece. So what I figured out is if the piece is 17 left, 17 right, I have to add 10 stitches to the button side. However, the ruffle is not all the way across and will not be folded over. That the button band is extra, if that makes any sense at all. So instead of just knitting at 17 and 17, we would knit at 17 and an extra 10, so 27. But we don't double the ruffle. The ruffle would still end at at where it's supposed to, if that makes any sense. So the button band is on its own. Yes, I know I have a very noisy family upstairs. Just cut that. Yeah. All right, so that's fairly neat. So we would match this up underneath. That gives us a good edge. All right, so what I did is I very carefully sewed the button band down over the purl bumps. Well, every second purl bump of the 5 rows in. I think for our emotional health, I will make sure that we mark that row going forward. You can see the purl row that we did has helped it lay flat. I don't know if I'm even in frame. Each of the holes is even. I don't think we're going to have any issues. Here's the button again. Goes through pretty easy. So I think we've got this. So I will figure out the buttonhole spacing, and then we'll come back and we'll knit this piece. Wish us luck.